All right, y'all, today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business and see if it has BSS for its local high intent keyword search and its city high intent keyword search. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, which means full spectrum intent to capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, whatever, main video, wherever you're at. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. We got our full, intent spectrum here. High intent peeps over on the left, lowest intent peeps over on the right. For boudoir photography business is rising, most likely we're pulling in people from the entire intent spectrum. And if our boudoir photography business is falling, we're missing chunks of people across somewhere on the intent spectrum. So here we're talking about BSS, the highest intent peeps. These people search for boudoir photo shoots right now on all the different four big social media sites. So social search and Google search. And over way on the right, that is our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We talk about BLCS. We currently only work with the boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. And so Facebook ads has the lowest intent peeps, interruption ads, Facebook, Instagram, which is going to be actually the largest volume of people that exist in a city. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. So in boudoir photographer, say there's 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. So 0 slots on page 1 on Google, so we're on page 2 or deeper. We're effectively invisible because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So approximately 80% of the market, so the bulk of the market ain't never going to see if we're on page 2 or deeper. And we actually want to, even if we got 1 slot, it's still not good enough. That's still boudoir search sameness because we look the same as everyone else. Everyone else gonna have 1 slot as well. So what's a buyer gonna do? They're just gonna, right click, open everyone's website, open a new tab, everyone down page 1. Probably won't even go to page 2, which is approximately 80% of searchers never do. So we're gonna assume that they don't even go to page 2. They're just gonna contact every boudoir photographer on page 1 near them and get price quotes and call it a day, and then kind of pick the best out of all those. So as a result, boudoir search sameness, no bueno. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google is actually not normal. That's extremely common. It's not normal to have that few number of slots page 1 on Google. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. First one everyone knows about, nearly everyone knows about, market saturation. Second one, nearly nobody knows about, which is the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, that's someone gets a new iPhone and they throw up their Google My Business profile and their website saying they're now for boudoir, or they're now a boudoir photographer. And get new gear like a camera, then they're posting the mom Facebook groups saying they're now for boudoir photo shoots. So market saturation, more boudoir photographers for the same number of buyers, increases in the supply side, makes it harder for each seller to, make a sale. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality. Okay, this is, from what I've seen, is the #1 killer boudoir photography businesses, where originally people accepted page 1 equality as normal. Like, it's normal for every boudoir photographer to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. And yeah, I was ranked, my website was ranked on page 1, but, someone else came in, their website got ranked above mine. I got pushed off to page 2, but, that's simply how it is. I simply got to accept it. There's nothing I can do. It's just part of the game. When actually this is 100% false. This is a 100% false belief, because what I have learned is Google will actually give as many slots on page 1 to those who want to put in the effort to acquire those slots. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So I know this is true. I've done it. And so this false belief of page 1 equality, it's like a mental cage. People don't even look for a solution. They don't even try to figure something out because they don't even know it's possible. But in 2 pictures here, we'll see that it actually is possible, or 4 or 5 pictures here. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. And that's because, if we got 0 slots on page 1, we're on page 2. Approximately 80% of searches never never even going to find us. So yes, we're disappearing. Even if we got one slot on page one, not good enough. We look the same as everyone else. Can we price shop compared to everyone else? And a buyer's just going to click and open everyone's website on page one and price shop everyone. So we got to get more slots on page one to kick out. And also, so we got more slots on page one. We're also kicking out our competitors. So actually, we get price shopped against fewer peeps. And disappearing boudoir photographer, it's like the canary in a coal mine. If we got BSS or disappearing boudoir photographer, we are, pretty. That means the business is on the path to disappearing as well. So luckily, we now have a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our SQt methodology, and it works exactly like it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent keywords, kind of like the small rivers flowing down the backside of the Andes Mountains. And once we do that, saturate, that flows into the Amazon River, which is Google page one search. That's the end result of doing SQt methodology correctly. And again, yes, I have done this for myself. Now, the magical thing about SQt methodology is it's the only thing I've seen for boudoir photographers that is able to successfully get rid of, fight against and actually overcome market saturation. So why is that? Let's say we're in DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Or let's say we're in DC. And there's 1 million boudoir photographers in DC. They all got a website saying they do boudoir photography. Same as us, we're one of them. Everyone's fighting to be ranked page one on Google. But let's say we crank up SQt methodology to the max. So we crank up SQt methodology to the max, and we take the first 300 slots across all, on social search. It's all us. And as a result, or the first 300 searches on Google for also the highest intent buyer keywords, those who want boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result, literally the first 30 pages, organic search results on Google is us. It's, it's 10, it's literally 10 organic slots per page. So we take the first 30 pages up with our 300 slots that we've captured, and our competitors, nobody can find them on organic results until the organic search results till page 31. So when buyers search anywhere, social or Google, we're basically the only one that they find. I mean, they probably ain't going to page 31 on Google. So as a result, whose business is growing? Ours. Even though there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers in our city. And why is that? Because buyers can't, it's hard for them to even find anyone else because we saturated search everywhere so strongly across social and Google. So again, this is the only solution I've seen that allows boudoir photographers to successfully outcompete market saturation. Something that has momentum. Sure, ads, they give me one more slot on Google for PPC, but their momentum goes down to zero once you stop spending for them. SQt methodology, it maintains momentum. It has momentum, not infinite momentum, but it has way more momentum than an ad that instantly drops to zero momentum once you stop spending for it. Now, once treated with SQt methodology, we have page one visibility. A bonus side effect of this is for every new slot we occupy on page one, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. Remember, approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page two. They're page one only searches. Yeah, we're making them invisible to approximately 4/5 of the marketplace. And obviously, that means we're going to be price shopped against fewer boudoir photographers. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. We have the GBC recommended minimum. We're going to hit 3 out of 10 slots on page one. I feel like that's kind of the first maximum point that we reach, where if every other boudoir photographer has 1 and we got 3, and subconsciously buyers going to be thinking, man, why is Google pushing this person 3 times? Everyone else only 1. I'm going to, I'll click all 3 on this one person. And in the very rare chance someone else has 2, well, we'll be, out competing them as well because we got 3. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our micro universe here, a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality, which everyone used to accept as normal, but more and more people are not accepting as normal anymore. We now have the solution, luckily, finally, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, next up, my results using S-cubed methodology for myself. So I wanted to rank for the keyword BLCS boudoir. I want to dominate page one on Google. So let's go down to the organic slots. So organic slot page one, or organic slot one, IG, me. Slot two, me. Slot three, me. Slot four, me. Slot five, me. Slot six, me. Slot seven, me. Slot eight, me. Slot 10, me. So I did this in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page one on Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page one on Google. And I exclusively used S-cubed methodology to achieve this. So these are the results I've gotten. Now we got the main event here. You can see this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search, Aliso Viejo, California, or its city search, you know. This one I actually made pretty broad, OC, Orange County, California. So let's check that out. All right, so Aliso Viejo, California. All right, let's go to the organics. Boom, we got organic one. Ooh, nice. We got organic two, or we got second slot there, slot number 3. So we got 2 out of 10. Boom, we got 3 out of 10 with the Yelp. 4, Event Detective. I'll take that. 5, MapQuest. All right, awesome. Perfect, dude. 5 out of 10. Dude, anything we, 3 is the minimum we want to hit. So good. We do not have BSS for local. That's a default. We should never be. Dude, we should be dominating local. Every boudoir photographer can dominate their local search. So 5 out of 10. So we do not have BSS, and we hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google. And guess what? The more slots we take up on page one on Google, the more competitors we kick off, the more people who want to buy from us will never even find our competitors, because approximately 80% of all Google searches are page one only. They never even go to page two. So boom, that's local. Let's check out larger. Now, technically this is not city, this is county, OC Orange County, but like there was no big city. I mean, I could have done Anaheim, but they were too far away from Anaheim. So let's see. All right, we're looking. All right, here we go. Got 1. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10. So we do a BSS for the larger city search, or in this case, the county search. So we'll treat this as the quasi-city search. So we do have BSS for the city search, and we are not hitting the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 for the city search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done your local search for the highest 10 buyer keywords in local and city, and either you got BSS for one or both of them, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page one on Google, and you've accepted that the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief, and Google will actually give us as many page one slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire, and you're liking the initial benefits of utilizing S-cubed methodology, namely, more slots page one on Google, and the second initial benefit, which is kicking out our competitors from page one of Google, making them disappearing boudoir photographers. And you also understand the market saturation, the 2 prongs of that. Yeah, new iPhones, new gear, more boudoir photographers over time. It's unstoppable, cannot stop. But yeah, you get that. But you're also looking ahead, and you're saying, man, AI is going to be already taking people's jobs. It's going to be taking more and more people's jobs over time. And so you're like, okay, there's going to be actually kind of more and more people pushed into becoming boudoir photographers by AI taking people's jobs. And guess what? Everyone's got a smartphone with a great camera. So this will be on top of people upgrading their gear, becoming boudoir photographers. They'll be forced to. Same as back in like COVID. So you see now, you're like, all right, S-key methodology. This can actually fortify my position on page one, like by putting so many links on page one that we even got backup links on page one that Google ain't ranked because we took too many slots, which means these new boudoir photographers coming in, because of AI taking their job, they have no chance to even rank on page one. Kind of like building up the levees in Nolens, Louisiana, to keep the ocean out because the ocean's below sea level. So you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology, kind of a future benefit is basically fortifying current position to the kind of standard peeps that'll be coming through as they upgrade their gear, and the other peeps who are new boudoir photographers, but they got laid off, so they needed to find some way to increase their income. And so you're liking that kind of future benefit. You also understand the two other future benefits, which is as we successfully execute SQ methodology every single day, day in, day out, what we're actually getting is we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our brand. It's kind of like, the columns at the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or like the hub and spoke, kind of like bicycle wheel, the hub in the middle and all the spokes coming out. That's the hub in the middle is our brand, our business name, our website, our social handles. We're building up this kind of back-end AI mindshare that our brand is connected is entrenched, connected to all these thematic keyword columns, which gives us the future increased probability, the future benefit of higher chance of being recommended right here in the AI overview in the premier prime real estate up on the top of search. And I mean, this is amazing. And can't even get this AI overview by paying for an ad. It's all about kind of, keyword frequency, relevance, age, authority, all things like that. Kind of every day we build these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business name. Our probability of being recommended AI overview increases. Same way as being recommended in AI search. It's the same exact thing, ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, same exact process. And so if peeps are, peeps searching for a boudoir photographer through AI search, dude, it's more and more every day. I mean, right now in Google standard search is like 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is more and more every single day, 100%. And last time I did a search for boudoir photographers in the city, it was with ChatGPT and it recommended me 3. And I actually then went like Google standard search to that city. And I would see, okay, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city? Like standard search. And dude, there was like 60. I was like, what? We got to find a way. We got to get one of these 3 slots in, AI search with these AI search apps. And so you like those 2 future benefits. You also understand my plan is don't only work with 1 boudoir photographer per city. My current plan is to work with only 1 boudoir photographer per city. So you're seeing that, okay, you've decided to be the first mover because, becoming the first mover, you can actually kick out your competitors and actually, build a massive gap between you and all your competitors now and the future competitors coming from AI taking people's jobs. Like this massive AI backend mindshare gap with all these thematic keyword columns that we'll be focusing on. And you also understand the reverse, where if one of your competitors actually, jumps out with me first, well, then you're going to be locked out from using our S-cubes methodology. And you're actually going to have to go rederive it. Derive it the first time for yourself. You'll never actually know if you've derived it correctly because we've perfected this. And then you're going to have to equal our execution every single day. But me and your competitor, would have already been working on it for a ton, successfully executing every day. So we'd already start with a massive gap ahead of you. So with you executing equally to us every single day, you would maintain that gap. So you'd have to actually double or triple our execution every single day to like be pulling back that thematic keyword mindshare from the AI systems and their backend brain from me and your competitor towards you. And who's got 80 hours to do all this? Plus, you won't be 100% confident you've derived it correctly anyway, so probably hard to even put in the effort initially to execute it. So you realize now that, and you're like, screw that. And you're like, screw that. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather be the first one to actually, rather be the first one to, in my city, to block out all the competitors. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM. And yeah, shoot me a DM when I open up for new patient intake. The hospital opens up again, because right now, new patient intake is closed. But when I do open up the slots for new patient intake, then yeah, shoot me a DM, and we'll see if you qualify to use our S-cubed methodology.